How's it gonna stay? Hey, people, we are back. Act 2, the podcast, episode 63. What's going on? Lights, cameras, action, computers is going off all around us. Ghost in here.
Is this episode 63?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
Episode 63. You ready to do no 603?
No, because I thought it was 64. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just thought it was 64, but you might be.
63.
Okay. All right. Wait, 63. Yeah.
If not, we'll backtrack, but I'm sure it's 63.
All right, you
but
go
now
ahead.
She got me.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong at all.
Then what are you saying?
I'm just confirming.
You're going to apologize to the people, ain't
you? Absolutely, I'm going to apologize. If I'm wrong,
apologize to the people for
I'm a
holding it
person to apologize because this is episode 63.
Like a motherfucker. Episode 63, Act 2, the podcast. We back. Your boy, International Walt, in the
and
building.
Your girl, Taj, the co-hostess with the mostest.
Yes, we are back for another week of Act 2, the podcast, episode 63. We are back. You can catch us on act2thepodcast.com. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on TikTok, talking away. You can catch us on Instagram, gramming away. You can catch us on Breaker, breaking shit. You can catch us on Anchor, dropping low to the bottom of the ocean. You can catch us on Google Podcasts, podcasting. You can catch us on YouTube, YouTubing. You can catch us on Radio Public, out in the public, because we outside. And you can catch us on Spotify. We spot, and that don't sound right.
We Spotifying.
Yeah, we Spotify. We're not spotting, because that means something else. We Spotify.
Spotifying.
Yeah. How are you?
I am good. I'm doing really well. Mentally, I'm in a great space. We've been having sex like newlyweds again. Mm-hmm. And that there is something proven. I know it's like exercise and sex and those like endorphins and serotonin and all those dopamine that drop into your body makes you feel good. I mean, you shouldn't rely on those things. I think that's how people become addicts.
No, but I mean, that's what they tell you in counseling is to keep fucking. I mean, not in those words, but keep having sex. Like that's what. Since
keep doing the things that feel good. Again, that makes you feel good.
I mean, I guess you can't have sex if you're like in a bad place or angry.
Some people do, and that's probably why sex is so tainted. How can you? You think people have sex with strangers? People have sex in tumultuous relationships. No, people have fights and then have sex.
I'm talking about if you beefing and you mad, have an argument. How can you have sex without making up first?
I think because some people don't respect the intimacy of sex, and they just do it as like. They just perform the action, and it doesn't. That's why sex is tainted for so many people.
Compartmentalize your emotions like that to like get an erection.
That's why the world is crazy. People ain't compartmentalizing emotions.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but I'm feeling good. I will say mentally, I'm a 9.
Mentally, nueve.
Yeah, I'm a 9. I feel good. I've been. Don't get me caught up in trying to test me because I don't remember all of them. But you told me about the 4 agreements some time ago. I know one of them is don't take things personal. I don't know the other ones off the top of my head.
You should learn them though. Yeah, that's some homework for you.
All right, I'll learn them.
Y'all see the homework.
The 4 agreements.
The 4 agreements of life.
But I know not taking things personal.
And you don't have to learn the caveats to go with them, but there's bullet points for the 4.
Yeah, not taking things personal is a really good one because it helps.
But I'm gonna ask your fucking ass next week.
It helps you to, not saying that some things won't hurt your feelings that people do, but it helps you to check yourself and realize everything ain't about you. That's kind of narcissistic to always feel like everything is. And it helps you to compartmentalize your emotions in that sense and not taking things personal, just like it said. So in that sense, I feel good. Work is an 8, I'll say. It's very busy, but I'm really having an opportunity to, not that it's intentional, I always do my job, and I'm great at my job. I feel like I'm great. I had the ability to be great at no matter what job I do, but I'm really good at my job. I know what I'm doing. I know my stuff. I'm open to learning from those that I can. I'm receptive to feedback. I have conversations with leaders above me often, to identify opportunities for improvement and just to kind of help guide me in my career. So I'm great at my job, and I'm in a season where I'm being forced to be great at it just because of other factors around me. And I'm being pulled in a lot of directions. Sometimes it doesn't feel good, but it gives me a minute to shine and to be like, yeah, I'm that girl. Like,
I'm glad
I know
that
what
you
I'm
know
doing.
that I'm glad to see you now over the years that you know you're the shit. Like I'm really because you are, and we was watching Tamron Hall on the Breakfast Club the other day, and she said the only reason why she got the job that she has now is because she was denied so many times, and a lot of people wouldn't speak up for her. And when she was able to get in the room, she was like, I had to brag for myself. So I laid out my resume, and these are the things I've done and accomplished, and I cheerleaded myself. And that tied into the Kanye thing we talked about last week, but boosting yourself up, like having a little bit of ego, just to say, like, I've done some things and I'm smart at things and I'm good at my job.
And I think too, it's not saying that what I'm adding to what you're saying, the confidence in knowing your ability and recognizing your worth. Not just your worth, because worth is subjective. What you think you're worth, somebody else is not. But recognizing your value. And I know that I'm valuable to anything that I want to be, anything that I put my mind to.
And your value isn't always tied to monetary things.
Right. I know that I'm valued. I know that what I have to offer. I know the knowledge that I have. And we talked about this a while ago. I think at some point in my career, it was like I was always looking for the next big thing. Like sometimes I would get bored and like, I need a challenge. I'm past that needing a challenge. My job provides the opportunities. And I don't know, maybe I was trying to prove to myself like I could do more, but I'm in a place where I'm comfortable. I'm not bored. Like, some things are redundant, but it is what it is. But it gives me the opportunity to just, I'm no longer I'm at a place where I want to, grow in my career and my current position and develop myself. But I ain't trying to prove nothing to anybody.
What's your finances?
Yeah. Finances are 9. I feel good.
Nothing away, babe?
Yeah.
So what did you say work was? You was a 9 on mental. Work was
an 8, just because 8. Sometimes
9, 8, 9. Nueve, ocho. Nueve.
Yeah, you been practicing your Espanol?
Poquito.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm alive. I'm good. I'm well.
But how are you?
Well, since you asked, I'm good. Mentally, I'm good. I'm sharp.
That's a whistle.
Yeah, I'm sharp as a tack, sharp as a whistle. Gotta stop myself from joking to death. I'm all good. My mental is probably a 9.
That's good. That's a good space to be in.
I'm going to add another part to this, too, since I've been going through some things. So we're going to have mental, work, finances, and physical.
Oh.
And what's your physical feeling like? What's your body is feeling like? So I'm going to add on to with the physical, and then you jump back and add your physical. So work is an 8. It is what it is. I don't like where I'm at. I'm going to complain about that every week until I'm not there no more. So y'all going to keep hearing it.
Well, I don't like the way you work there until you're not there anymore. Until you're at your next site.
Until I'm at my next site. Yeah. Until this other site is completed, which will be soon. Finances is Nueve, 9. I'm good.
But what you said mental was a 9. What was work?
Work is an 8.
Okay, so 9, 8, 9. Okay.
Yep, and my physical is an 8.
Oh, that's good.
Body feels good. Problem with my foot, but I worked that out.
That's like you got like old man foot.
No, I don't have old man foot. I just have an 8 in my Achilles. That's all. I don't have an old man foot. And people out there thinking my foot ugly.
No, you actually have pretty nice feet for the work that you do. Like, been wearing construction boots for 23 years. Yeah, you don't have bad feet at all.
No.
I'll massage them for you.
Wows and woes.
So did you want me to tell you my physical?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's your physical state?
I'm going to say it's a 7.
A 7?
And I'll say not because
I'm asking how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
not what you think of yourself. I'm asking how you feel. So, like, how does your body feel right now at this moment?
I feel great.
Okay. Just had a shower.
Yeah, I feel good. I'll say I'm an 8. Okay. I want to be more active, which will probably make me feel like a 6 because working out and stuff makes you, but I
But
feel,
sex has made you a little bit more active, more active than we were.
yeah.
I mean, it's extra sex.
Yeah, burn some calories. Yeah, but I feel good though. I do want to, get back into being physical. One thing that rings in my head often, and I know this is not like it's not an always or everybody. Like, I'm not speaking in totality, but if you think about the oldest people in your family, more than likely none of them are obese.
Mm-mm.
Fat people don't live really long.
Mm-mm.
And I've always said, out of all the things that you can die from, I never wanted to be from being fat. Like, thinking like, any illnesses, and thank God, knock on wood, no diabetes, no high blood pressure, no cholesterol. Like, I've never had any issues that are commonly associated with being overweight. But I'm getting older, so I don't want that to happen. So yeah, I just want to, get myself in better shape. And I feel like I have this conversation at least twice a year with myself. And I'm never going to stop until I do it. Like, I'm never just going to be like...
I know you can do it. We've done it. I've
Yeah.
seen you do it multiple times. I mean, I hate that you struggle and fight with yourself like that, but I know it's in you. And we've been through a lot the last 6 months. You've been cut on and chopped on and poked and probed, and you healed now. So...
And I have one less organ than God birthed me with.
Yeah, no GB.
Yeah, my wows and woes this week. Let me see. So, my wow, I would say probably work. It has. I think I've just taken on a new mindset. That, and next week I may be saying, God, I want to retire. I always want to resign. But I mean, it just feels good. I'm in a space that feels good where, it just feels good. So I'm just going to say that's my wow. When you have anybody in the corporate world, if you like your job, I ain't talking about love your job or loving your workplace, but it kind of ebbs and flows, and it may ebb more than it flows. I don't know what that really means though. What's ebbing?
Up and down.
So what's up?
Up and down. Ebb.
Ebb is up,
Yeah.
flow is down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it may flow more than it ebbs, but that's stupid. Who made that up?
I don't know. It's been that since the wheel. Time immemorial. You don't question those things.
Oh, okay. It may be down
why?
more
Because they work. The wheel works.
Yeah,
like,
but I just never
that.
questioned it or tried to break it up. What's ebbing and flowing? It's just kind of
Can't
ebbing
ask
and
somebody who
flowing.
made the wheel. They don't know why. Because it works. It works so well.
Nevertheless, work has just I've been in a good mental space there. So that's my wow, because I can't usually say that about work.
Whoa.
My woe, and the young girl that killed those police officers. Now, this isn't my direct woe, but it was just like a woe that happened. So just hearing that story, and I won't go too deep into it. We might talk about it a little later on, but it's just one of those situations you think how one decision can really impact the rest of your life. So shout out to the families that lost a loved one, and that young girl's family too.
Condolences.
Oh my goodness. I did not mean to say that. Yes, condolences.
Well, that's what I'm here for, baby.
Thank you, baby.
I got you.
Thank you. What about you? What's your wows and woes?
My wows is my team at work. And shout my fellas out. My sidekick Danny and my man Darren and crazy fucking Eddie.
Hey y'all. Thanks Eddie for the tips on the avocado.
Those guys, just the way that I wanted to move in the place that I'm in. These dudes just move that way and are efficient, and we got a whole lot done in a little bit of time that we was there, and I just appreciate them dudes. That's my wow. So Danny's gotten 10 times better than he used to be. Fast, quick, agile. Darren, the same thing. Eddie, you getting there, a little fucking slow. You're gonna have to pep it up, but you family. Yeah, and I just wanted to shout my fellas out. That's my wow.
Now I want to give you your flowers, because having a good team is a sign of a good leader. And not all leaders know how to create a great team. And I know you speak highly of your team and, how they are positioning themselves to be leaders as well, and that's a mark of a good leader. So shout out to you.
Darren is positioning himself to do more and be more and offer more, and I'm proud of him, and I'm happy to see like he asserting himself that way. Like he in a different type of happy space, which I haven't seen him in years, but you know he's there. So I'm just super proud of him. I'm super proud of Danny, super proud of Eddie on how they show up for me. They work for me. They respond to me. And I appreciate you guys for that. I love all y'all. I appreciate y'all for that.
All right, this ain't the bromance hour.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
I wish you well.
This is why men don't show their emotions.
You know
because
I'm
women
joking.
Shit all over them.
I encourage your vulnerability and you sharing.
But that
love.
was a prime example.
You was just going on
that
a
could
little
be like
long.
a skit or a sketch in therapy.
You was just going on a little long about it.
It's a skit.
A skit and a sketch, I think, is the same.
No, they not. We just learned this the other day. A skit is two people. Add a third person, it's a sketch.
Where did we learn that?
I learned it.
I'm about to say, I wasn't in that lesson.
I learned it.
Okay. But that's good information because I thought a skit and a sketch was the same. Wish you well.
Woe? I don't have no woes. Ain't nothing.
I mean, just a woe in the world. It may not be you.
A woe in the world.
Well, you like, whoa.
I mean, there's some woes in the world I'm probably going to get into later on. I don't want to get too deep, but I don't have no personal woes.
That's good. That's a
so
blessing.
There's no personal. Well, I don't have no personal woes.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't have no personal woes. So there we go. Do you know who Deshaun Watson is?
Yes.
Well, who is he?
Deshaun Watson. He was a football player, right?
He is a football player. What do you mean he was?
Okay, I just forgot. Yeah.
So that's all you know about him?
Yeah.
Okay, so Deshaun Watson is a football player. He's a quarterback. He used to play for the Houston Texans. Dynamic football player. Young kid, 26 years old. Went to Clemson, won a national championship and in the NFL. Deshaun Watson has 22 sexual allegations against him. 22.
Wow.
Because of massage therapists. So 22 women, massage therapists, have come forward now to this date saying he sexually assaulted them or, did some weird shit in front of them. Which, yeah, that's sexual assault. So March 16th, 2021, he touched the tip of his penis on a woman's hand, a massage therapist, as she was massaging him. March the 17th, he asked a massage therapist, this is the next day, to massage his anus and his penis. March 18th, he forced a masseuse to have oral sex. She blacked out and defecated on herself because she was so scared. March 19th, 9 more lawsuits were filed against him, totaling 12. March 22nd, he forced a woman's hand on his penis, and when he locked her in a bedroom as she was going to give him a massage. So 22 allegations all to date.
I'm sorry, were those just the dates they were filed, or those was the dates that those
These
events
were the dates
happened?
these events happened. The 16th of March, the 17th of March, the 18th of March, and then the 19th of March is when all the lawsuits were filed.
Oh, wow.
Like all these people
He
started
was like
to come
on
out.
a
So 3
rant.
days in a row. So the definition of do you know the definition of a sexual predator?
Somebody who preys on people to commit sexual crimes?
I mean, it's close, but you mean like I want to be like serious and like know what we're talking about?
No,
here.
I don't
So
know
I'm
like the
just asking
textbook
you.
definition.
A sexual predator is a person seen as obtaining or trying to obtain sexual contact with another person in a metaphorically predatory or abusive manner.
So, question now, and I'm not excusing or making any delineation between somebody who has one accusation versus 22. Like, you know how a murderer and a serial killer is not the same, right? Mm-hmm. So is somebody who probably has one sex crime or allegation against them considered a sexual predator, or is and the reason why I ask, because when you think the predatory state, does it mean like this is something that you do habitually, or even if you did it one time, you're labeled as a sexual predator?
I don't know. Let's talk about it. I'm asking you, if you have 22 massage therapists saying you do weird shit, like, ask for some different kind of oil, when they leave the room, you come back, you butt ass naked with a hard dick, like, that's weird shit. Or I'm massaging you and you move in a certain way where your penis touch my hand. Like, if you have 22 women saying that against you, is that a sexual predator?
No, I definitely think he fits the bill. But in my mind, when you read the definition, it didn't specify to indicate that, like, there's a certain volume of this kind of activity that would deem you as a sexual predator, or even if you did it one time. But for him, I think he fits the bill no matter what. But I was just curious, since you read the textbook definition.
It's 22 women, that's some Bill Cosby type stuff.
It reminds me of the what was the other football player who's in jail now? Darren Sharper. Yeah, so it just reminds me of him. And the reason why I made the correlation is because I think sometimes whether it's football, whether it's sports where you're famous or you have some kind of notoriety because of sports, or any type of entertainment, any type of industry where you have some notoriety, I think it's this narcissistic thought that a woman is just going to do that for you, or you think that a woman is going to be so enamored with your fame, your money, that they're going to allow you to. It's almost like when you hear about video girls being on this video set back in the day, and rappers just thought like, oh, they could touch him and feel him just because, like, I am who I am, and you hear, ain't this what you here for? And that's what it makes me think, like, do these guys have that kind of mentality? Like, you know who I am. Like,
I think in that instance, in that like rap world where it's like you talk about like at a party or hotel room, not saying that shit should happen, but
no, I'm talking about on a video set where they might act like that. A video
set or something like that. That's all tied into the same thing, but a massage therapist.
But those girls are working too. Like, they not all.
I agree,
so yeah, a massage therapist.
But I'm just saying, a massage therapist isn't that. And I'm just saying, if you're a massage therapist and you come to do a massage, and it's some kinky shit going on like that, like what do you do? He made a girl defecate on herself because she was fucking scared.
Yeah,
she blacked out and shit her pants.
It's unfortunate because and I'm not in any way making excuses for him. Does he have this bad connotation with getting a massage as being something sexual? Like, we've got
obviously
massages.
He's one of them persons who get like everyday massages. I mean, he's a football player every other day or 3 times a week, whatever. But how do you try the women who's doing that every fucking time?
Yeah, like, we've had massages before, professional massages. They aren't intimate in nature, but if you can't understand, like, you're not here for an intimate activity, although you may be touched in places that you could be touched in it. Like, they rub your thighs where they really rub your thighs, but you have to know this is their profession. That ain't what I'm here for. Where he's probably in his mind, conditioned to think like, yeah, you touching me, you want this, or I'm naked and I'm here and you here, and I'm a football player, this what you gonna do for me.
But I called you to ask for like a sports massage. Like, I'm a football player. And then he referred a couple of these women to other football players who obviously, when they called, were super scared and was like, no, not taking any clients.
Wow.
But I mean, so at 26 years old, you being a predator like that and escalating, okay, you rubbed your penis on a woman's hand, you made a woman shit on herself, you locked a woman in a room and wouldn't let her out until she touched your penis. Is his next step rape?
I think so. I think it would be. Like, he is the type of person that it's almost like it makes you wonder, and this is not, it makes you wonder if he was a teacher.
Before you finish your thought, he's a devout Christian.
Yeah, that doesn't.
But I'm just saying, just to add that, he's a devout Christian.
What does that really mean, though?
I don't know, but I'm just saying he's a man of God. To me, a man of God means a lot. I'm a man of God, so it means something to me. But I'm just saying he's a man of God. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it means anything to him. I'm just putting it out there. He is a devout Christian.
Think about the devout priests that have raped boys for years. So that's all I mean in saying that. Like, of course, being a man of God means a lot, but does it, remove you from having the potential to be this kind of person? Obviously not. And it makes me wonder: is the football life like, what do you call it? Like when men, like his beard, in a sense, like his cover up to give him that access? Because, okay, if he was a school teacher, and not to say like he would be a child predator, but if he was a school teacher, would he find a way to prey on women? Or if he worked for the water department, would he find a way to prey on women? Or is it that because his money, he thinks, gives him that access? And it also is a shame because you think, as a woman, right?
So where does it's a sickness, or is it his entitlement? Because he comes from nothing, just like a lot of the players in the NFL. So where does that entitlement, if it's that, come from? To think, just because I got money, like everybody in the league got money. So
yeah, I think it's a mix of both. It has to be in you to do that. Because, okay, being transparent, you know how sometimes in relationships, and this really comes from movies where couples might play rape, and I'm in no way trying to offend anybody who may have been a victim of any sexual abuse, but people play kinky games and stuff like that. I know my husband has never been down for none of that.
I don't play that shit.
Like, I'm not doing that. Like, if you say no, you say no. We ain't about to play like, oh, I'm breaking in and I'm gonna put a mask on. And in my mind,
I can't perform that in those under them circumstances.
So that's why I say, and for people who do play those kind of kinky games, as long as you leaving it, and when it's consensual, that's the kind of kinky you want. We have our own kind of kinky. That just ain't it. So I say that to say it has to be in you, because just like you and you ain't even playing that as a game. Like you said, there are however many football players there are that have money that are getting massages. Not all of them feel. Now, some of them may feel entitled, where they think like, oh, you ain't gonna give me your phone number? All right, F out of here, B. They might have a different type of aggression that they show towards women if they're shut down. But not all of them are trying to force you to do something sexual to them or force themselves on you. So that has to be in you. So I think it's some sort of predatory thing in him, but the money gives him access that if he works somewhere else, he may be the kind of rapist knocking somebody over their head if he didn't have money. Now it's kind of like, oh, I can bring my prey to me because my money allows me the access to do so. And wait, let me just say this. It's a shame for women, too, who are, when people say sex sells, and I think some people take that, right, but some people take that the wrong way. And it does, but let's change. And I know I'm not going to be the one that effectuates this change across the world. Femininity sells, being sexy sells, sexuality sells, but not sex. So as a woman, you learn how to be a little flirty.
But that comes from the original. It comes from the oldest job in the world, and it's prostitution. So sex does sell. Like if you put a sign up to say dick over here, it's going to be some women that wander in there. If you put a sign up that says pussy over here, it's going to be a ton of men that wander in there. Right, but what I'm saying,
as a woman, if you're selling cars, you got to be a little sexy. You learn how to be. Now, you don't have to be. Let me take that out. But you learn how to be a little sexy. When we watched that real estate show about the women, they learned how to be a little sexy, but they was clear they wasn't having sex with their clients.
No, it's not. It's not about having sex. It's just they pick parts from sex. Like, okay, it shouldn't be. Yeah, the alluring is what it is. Right. Flirtiness. It shouldn't be if I come in dressed like grandma, I ain't gonna sell no houses. Right. But if I put this button down on, pop 3 buttons and bump up my boobs,
that's the society
I'm gonna sell a house. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have this pencil skirt on. I'm gonna sell a house. I'm put some heels on. I'm gonna sell a house. I can't if I come in here with flats and slacks on.
So I say that to say, as a massage therapist, of course you have clients that, and you want to look a certain way when you're trying to attract money from a certain clientele. I'm sure your NFL player clientele is paying more money than, a different person. So in that, it's a shame that as women, they put themselves in a situation to be attacked because of that. Or he might think, oh, you come in here smelling good, or your makeup done, or you looking sexy coming in here. Yeah, but that's just because I'm doing my job, not because I want you to try to take my coochie.
But if it's, I'm just saying, if it's 22, how many, you think every one of them was hot? Not saying like they was like some bad girls walking in there, but I'm just saying, what if you get an average masseuse? Like, he's just the type of person that, like you said, when he naked, like you rubbing on him, he just like move a certain way and your hand gonna rub my penis and then I'm gonna make eye contact with you. Like, is you with it?
I mean, I can't say every single one, but I think I think he probably purposely sought out women that he was attracted to. You know, all women are attractive in some way, but he probably purposely sought out women that he was attracted to. I would think, just listening to his behavior, I would think that's probably what he did.
So
because in the end, if you think about his actions, he thought he was getting sex out of this.
Right, every time. And in 3 days, 22 women come up and say the same thing about you. Just reminds me of Bill Cosby. And I think a person like that is a sexual predator, and that kind of shit shows escalation. And I'm never known a sexual predator, like, you know, up close and in person, but in the movies, escalation means rape is next and killing and all that kind of shit.
It sounds scary, especially when you think you were on I said a rant, but I meant to say a binge, like a 3-day binge, and it makes you think. Again, I'm not saying this to be funny. All the money you got, is girls out here that are giving coochie away. When you didn't get none from the masseuse, you could have went to the club and found the girl that probably would have went home with you willingly, that you wouldn't have had to take none from.
These guys got millions of dollars. You can be at the crib and bring girls in.
Yeah,
you ain't got to do none of that stuff.
So with understand. That, but that's what makes me think.
And to do it on back-to-back days makes me think this is a tick. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. It's more of a predatory nature.
Yeah, you did some fuck shit to a girl. How does that make you feel? And then the next day you wake up, oh, I want another massage and I'm gonna do it again because it didn't work out yesterday. Like, one of these times I'm gonna get some ass.
And it makes you feel like that predatory nature is in him because again, he didn't go out to find a girl that was willing or call an escort. Like, that's what you call an escort when you want that. So it kind of shows like, was this feeding his ego where he wanted to force somebody to do it?
Right. It's almost like the Bill Cosby thing. Like, you got enough money and charisma to get any woman you want just by talking and having a conversation. Why are you drugging people? Like, so again, he's not a bad looking dude. He's young. He's got a lot of money.
I gotta look him up.
So what the hell are you?
That's sad.
Like, doing backdoor stuff that makes you look like a predator in a woman's eyes. I wonder how
his mother feels. Like, what did I raise? Like, not, and I don't feel like parents should internalize.
What would you feel like if that was your son?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like parents should internalize, but I don't think you can help it.
All that's a lie. I didn't do none of that. They lying on me because I am who I am.
22 women.
It's your son.
I know. I mean,
I'm asking you. Would you?
I don't know.
Would you be like, I don't believe him? Or would you be like, I know when my son lying? I raised him.
I would think as a mother, you probably would know when he's lying. Or even if you didn't know when he was lying, I think there would be a question in the back of your mind. You probably would want to believe him. But I think you wouldn't be able to help having that question. Like, not one girl, not 5 girls, not 10 girls, 22? Like, tell me how all of them thought. Like, did you find them all from the same massage parlor and they knew each other? Like, I think you would try to rationalize it, or you would try.
Random, independent.
No, I understand, but I'm saying I think as a parent, you would try to rationalize it or try to find some thread to hold on to say, like, maybe they worked at the same massage parlor and they were in cahoots to bring you down. But if he said, nah, like, I found them different places, it would unravel. And I think, you know, as a woman, not as a mother, but as a woman, you would, like, I think your intuition would tell you, but then as a mother, I don't have no kids, but I
push
can
your
imagine
intuition
that
down.
being hard. Like, you would want to love on your son, but as a real person,
But would you know if somebody is saying you a sexual predator? Do you automatically, like, what happened to believe the victims? Like, what happened to all of that stuff? And it's like, okay, if you're telling your moms, look, I didn't do that, and 22 women are saying you did, like,
I'm not saying don't believe the victims, but as a parent, I think, and again, I'm not a parent, but I think that maternal instinct, you're gonna want, you're still gonna love your child, even if in the back of your mind you know he needs to be punished for what he did. I'ma still love you, but you need to be in jail if this is what you really did.
You think that?
I think what
that, like, if I had a kid that like raped some woman and was like,
of course I'm gonna love you, but you need to go to jail. I'm never gonna stop loving you, but you need to be in jail.
But you say that though, but would you? Like, if you went to court and heard all the details of the foul shit he did and the stuff he did to women, would you like love him, or would you just be saying that? Would you go see him? Would you send him stuff? Like, would you still be in touch with him? Like, that's my son. Like, would you not be in sympathy of the family that's in the courtroom, of the people he killed and brutalized? Like,
yeah, I probably
like, what
would,
if he did
but that's
some
my
foul
child,
shit?
and that's probably still with love. I would still love him. I don't like what you did. I don't agree, and I agree that you need to be in this prison. But I love you. I love you. You're my child. I'm not going to stop loving you. I don't like what you did, and I am not going to stand up here.
So it goes back to if you're not showing love, how can you still love them? Like, even over time, if you're not going to see him, if you're not.
I know. I said I probably would go see him and all that. I probably would still talk to him. I would want to make.
So if your kid was Charlie Manson, you would still be in love. You would still love him as your son and still go see him and stuff like that.
And the go with seeing them part is it probably would be hard to see your child, I think, but I would still love him. I would still probably want to talk to him. I would be sad as hell.
If my kid was like Ted Bundy, I wouldn't want to fucking see him again. I just wouldn't. Like, I couldn't swallow that you murdered and raped 44 women, and I wouldn't know what the fuck to say to you.
I wouldn't either, but you're my child. I think I would still love you.
As a parent, I think to myself, like, damn, where did I go wrong? I'm super fucking wrong, and I don't even know who I thought you were. I'm so far off. Like, I don't even know what to say to you. So when you go there the first time, it's like, hey, son, like, how's it going? Like, do you cry? Like, I mean, what's the visit for? I'm going to sit here and break down and cry the whole time and can't talk? Or I'm going to say, like, bullshit small talk?
You probably would cry. That's why I said I'm not really sure about the visits. Even the phone calls. The phone calls might be 5 minutes of silence and weeping. But I don't think, as a parent, I would be able to cut my heart off and cut, to stop loving. Now, it's a different situation if it was like one child did something to another. Like, if I had multiple children and one of my children hurt my other children. That's different dynamics. But I don't think that as a parent, I would be able to cut my heart off to stop loving my child. It doesn't mean that I approve of what you did. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be writing letters saying free him until him free. Like, none of
free him until him free.
Yeah, that's how the kids say it.
Free him until
well, no, they say like free easy until it's the other way. Easy free.
Easy free.
Yeah.
Okay. Free him until him free.
Yeah, like, I ain't writing letters asking you to be. That sounds like
some Jim Crow era stuff for real.
Like, you need to be here. You need to be in jail. But I think as a parent, I would still love you. I would be angry. And that's why I was starting to say I probably would be so hurt. I don't think it's fair that parents always internalize what their children have done. But I don't think you can help it. Like you said, you'd be thinking, where did I go wrong? What did I do? And it may not have been anything that you could have done differently that could have changed the course of that child's life. But I don't think you can help thinking it as a parent.
Okay. The NFL has had Ray Rice. You remember his situation?
The way he beat not that woman, his wife.
Yeah, the NFL has had Greg Hardy.
I'm not
from the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, he punched
his woman on the guns.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
He was with the Cowboys, and he stopped with the Cowboys, got kicked out the league, and went to the UFC. But he threw his woman on a couch full of guns and beat her up real bad. You don't remember that?
Not really.
It's a few years ago. He played with the Cowboys. And then you got the guy who just recently, Stacy, I forget his last name, but he beat the hell out of his girl.
Yeah, on camera. Well, it was
And
a camera.
was throwing her around. So the NFL has had these guys, these bad guys in the league that beat women, assault women, and they've had initiatives to like weed out that kind of stuff. So why is why did Deshaun Watson be traded, forced his way out of the Houston Texans to be traded to the Cleveland Browns to sign for 5 years, $230 million, $45 million signing bonus, and his contract be fully guaranteed?
So why is he not in jail?
Because these are just accusations at this point.
But it's like he going to court and stuff?
Well, the women have filed lawsuits against him, but, no criminal charges have been filed against him yet.
See, that's where I have a problem.
So what's that say about the NFL, though? Like, what's that say about a league that makes $16 billion a year and has had incidents like this and trying to weed out domestic violence and sexual assault people, and then you reward somebody a contract like that?
So okay, it's a couple of different layers here, in my opinion. Let's start with the fact that there's lawsuits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, no criminal charges have been filed.
Right.
So technically, he's not a criminal.
Right.
Let's just say that. I have a problem, and this is not any type of victim shaming at all. But when women are sexually assaulted and you opt to file for financial gain instead of wanting this person to be in prison, I don't get how, like, what's the cost of your coochie? What's the price on somebody assaulting you or trying to take your coochie? How much is enough to make you feel better about that? Because I'll tell you, as a victim of sexual abuse, that shit ain't never going away. So if you get $100,000, $400,000, if you get $4 million, you buy everything that you want to look pretty, smell good, put on your shoes, to drive, to live in, whatever. A commercial's gonna come on, the wind's gonna blow, you're gonna hear a name, you're gonna hear a song, you're gonna see something. It ain't never going away if, this is something that happened to you that you are traumatized by. So I have a problem with that. So in looking at that from the corporate America world, let's just think about your job. If somebody accused you of something, there's no charges. They do jobs do criminal background checks. Mm-hmm. They don't check to see, hey, has somebody ever sued Walter for assault? They're not looking for that. They're looking to see, if your job is up, does Walter have a criminal record for assault, murder, rape, whatever the hell, you may have been charged with. So in this case, they're giving him that opportunity to stay in a job where he doesn't have a criminal background because they're not filing charges. And then let me say this too.
But the optics of it for a business, which that's what the NFL is, what does that look like? To other people, it may look like, okay, this guy has 22 sexual allegations against him that hasn't been resolved yet, and he gets to go and get $230 million guaranteed.
The optics are bad, but if you look at it from the other side, right? Like mm-hmm. from a defense side, when we talk about innocent until proven guilty, mm-hmm. would you want to be fired from a job where you're saying you're innocent? These people are saying you're guilty. They're not even trying to take actions to prove that you're guilty. So in essence, you're going to stay on this side of innocence. And now you're fired, and it's like, come on, so he can spin it like they just all out to get money. I ain't do this. You see, they're not filing charges on me. They just want my money. They just being greedy. And they're giving him a leg to stand on, if that is the leg he's trying to stand on, because he's not in jail. He's not even facing it. Like, he should be going to court right now, not going to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Like, that's where he should be going. Now, and I look at it like this when people say, oh, the NFL has this many people. The NFL is an epitome of society, or a microcosm, let's say that. So if you look at the water company, if you look at the postal service, if you look at FedEx, and you look at how many of these men have beat their wives at FedEx, how many of these men have been accused of rape, how many of these men have, snort cocaine, So the NFL, like, yeah, it's the NFL, it's a multi-billion-dollar
So you
industry,
saying
but it's
shit
just a
like that is
microcosm
gonna
of any
is gonna happen when you
corporation.
put any group of people that's 1,800 players and 600 coaches.
Yeah, so you're talking about a
2,400
company of
people.
2,400 people. How many people at Google? Now, maybe Google got background checks, but maybe there's some people that commit domestic violence that have never been to jail. So how many people at Google beat their wife? How many people
Construction companies don't do background checks. We know that.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So the NFL gets a bad rep, and I ain't in no way taking up for the NFL because we know they got other stuff with them, but they get a bad rep to say, oh, they got all these men that they beat their wives, they do this, they do. You put any corporation of 2,400 people, and if you like give everybody some truth serum when everybody have to tell the truth, I think the statistics will probably be the same.
And it's crazy because in the construction industry, there's lots of sexual offenders walking around through a lot of companies. And I'm sure they don't do background checks because I've shared information with you about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever know like any sexual offenders at your job that was like your peers? At work. And then did you ever know a sexual offender that was a peer of yours? Or a person within your age bracket, 3 to 5 years, that you heard, wow, he did I went to school with that motherfucker. Well,
no.
Plus you went to school with all girls. I'm sorry.
Well, that was high school, but I mean, no, not that I can think of. I mean, you have my brain like scanning work life and all that stuff. Like, I've worked with a very eclectic group of people, all nationalities, ages, and all that. And I can't think of any time like somebody being like, yo, you heard Joe? What happened to Joe? Now, I've known some situations of people having affairs at work, but it was grown consensual people. I know a group of people that used to do coke together.
At work?
I mean, not like on the job, but
sugar?
They worked together. Yeah.
Heavy on the sugar?
Yeah. And they were not our complexion. And it was a group of them.
Booger sugar.
Yup. So, I mean, but I've never heard of any stories like that about any coworkers, like, whatchamacallit got caught up or he.
And never nobody in your personal life, like, I'm talking about a peer.
Nope, not that I can think of. I don't know anybody, like, just scanning, like, my memory. Mm-hmm. I can't think of anybody, like, you heard such and such got locked up for rape. I don't know anybody.
Me neither. Like, and I'm happy that I don't.
Yeah.
Like, that was my age that, I can't remember now. I smoke a lot of weed, but it doesn't come to me right quick that I knew somebody that did some foul shit.
Yeah, and I can't
That was my age.
And I can't even think, we from the same neighborhood, so, you tell me if I'm wrong. Now, I can think of situations of people messing with people, and you think, oh, he was way too old and she was way too young for them to be messing with each other.
Back when we were in the 90s, there was some 40-year-olds messing with some 16-year-olds.
Yeah, so like situations like that. But I don't ever recall hearing like any stories of like, did you hear such and such rape, such and such, or I you know what? And outside of family dynamics, I don't know any women, thank God. And maybe some situations where people didn't share their story, but I don't know any women, and I don't have any. I have a beautiful group of friends, and I have a beautiful group of associates, but I don't know of any women who have told stories of like being raped. And
can I tell you something? I don't mean to be like insensitive. My assumption is everybody now, like every woman that I meet or person that I'm around, I'm not trying to be rude to them or I just assume that about them, like judge a book by its cover, but it's like 1 in every 3 women. Well, so it's like every other woman or something, like 1 in 2 or 1 in 3. So it's like damn, like everybody you possibly can run into, if it's 500 women in a supermarket, it's a good chance 200 of them had sexual.
Well, I said rape. But you're right. I do know friends. I know 2 that I can think of off the top of my head that I know that they were victims of sexual abuse. So that I know.
So if you had to say 500 women in a supermarket, 200 of them had some type of sexual abuse. How many of them was raped?
I don't know the statistics, and I don't.
5 to 10.
Out of 500, I think that's
3 to
low,
5.
but I don't know.
Oh, you think that's low?
Out of 500, I think, I don't know.
Damn, man.
I don't know. That's hard. That's sad. Yeah, but it's really sad because you're right. It is so prevalent in society,
and I think the statistics is 1 in 3.
1 in 3 have been a victim of sexual abuse. So,
right.
And I don't, and again, it doesn't always mean rape, but yeah.
Damn, you said that's low. You mentioned Darren Sharper. Darren Sharper's in jail for 34 years for rape in 9 states, 12 of them. Yeah. And you said once he was a handsome man.
Darren Sharper is extremely handsome. Like he is, and it's one of those things, and not saying like, oh, rapists can't be handsome, like, but it just makes you think like, what is it you had? And not, let's just say this, he was a NFL player, and then he was a media personality. Like he transitioned from, like, that's when I became more familiar with him and seeing him on like sports shows. He was very nice on the eyes. And it's like, okay, not only could you, I'm sure, have found a woman that wanted you, you could have bought coochie. You know, you could have met a girl. She could have gave you something for free, even if you didn't want her to be a girl, just because of who you are and how you look. Like
could have been in the Hall of Fame.
Like that's why
almost a Hall of Fame football career on your way, and who knew you was going state to state on off days raping women.
That's why I say it's something that's innate. It's not like, oh, this just happened by chance. It's just something that. Not because not all men are rapists. Not all men have that capability.
Too. But you say he's handsome, so I'm sure he's been told that over the years. You look good, you cute or whatever, and you know a lot of women attract to him. Then you get millions of dollars, so more women attract to you. But you don't have the insight in yourself or the vernacular to even talk, to even get yourself some coochie. Your whole thing is I have to drug it. I gotta drop something in your glass. And that's the way I like it when you lifeless. That's like, what the fuck is that?
That's something is wrong internally because again, that's not something that the normal man is gonna do. The normal man is not going to want a woman like that. Like you want her to participate in the activities that's going on.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, throw it back. Tell me whose it is.
Just
don't
like
be there not saying nothing.
No, that's the worst kind of sex. Like she a dead fish.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's the worst kind.
But so that just is sad. And again, I'm in no way saying because he cute. Like, but it just goes to show you that rapists can come dressed like anything, looking like anything, having however much money. If it's in them that they want to take it, whether it's the insecurity, the entitlement, all of the above, it's sad, it's scary.
So just like we said, it's 1 in 3 women that has had a sexual assault against them. So there means there's sexual offenders everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like just like there's women everywhere who's been sexually assaulted, then there's sexual offenders everywhere.
But you figure some of those women were victims of the same person.
True,
but yeah.
But you know, they have a registry list and there's people everywhere. You can look this stuff up. And I know like where we used to live, you knew like the areas like where sexual offenders are. Mm-hmm. So I'm about to tell you something and I don't want you to be freaked out. But in our zip code, which I'm not going to say, there's 12 sex offenders in our zip code alone.
Really?
Immediate zip code. I'm talking about within 0.5 miles, 0.4 miles, 0.3 miles.
So you're making my eyes water.
There's 12 sex offenders in our area, 11 tier 2 moderate, 1 repetitive compulsive, 10 black, 2 white. And the repetitive compulsive guy, he's black. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't want to talk right now.
Baby, you safe. For the sake of the show, you safe, boo. But I know in our old house, you looked up stuff like that in our old area. You always used to tell me shit like that. Don't cry, baby.
I'm not going to.
Don't cry. But
I'll tell you one thing. Every day you leave this house, I'm keeping that gun on my hip because somebody think they're coming up in here doing something.
I didn't say that for you to scare you.
Well,
babe.
You said it now. And I'm telling you now. Somebody think they coming up in here. Please believe. Please believe I know how to use a weapon, and yeah, please
we ain't
believe
even
it.
gonna play like that.
We're not, but
we
that's
ain't
just
gonna play
scary
like that.
and it's sad. And this world, this world, if you allow yourself, and it's, you gotta kind of like really not, you don't want to stay ignorant. Like sometimes I feel like we're a little ignorant about the world because we don't watch the news, and like now we live in this cable free life and we don't even know how to watch the news if we wanted to. So you got to find a fine line of keeping yourself informed so that you're not ignorant, but also not allowing yourself to be overwhelmed, because it's so much craziness and sadness and sickness that goes on in the world. So you got to learn the boundaries of when to shut it off. Like, stay informed, but shut it off. And that kind of stuff, that is so triggering right now. My stomach is in knots. And
I didn't mean to trigger you. And this is what I'm going to lastly say about this. Is tied to my beef. And it's just sexual offenders everywhere. I know you was affected by it in your life. And it pains me to this day that I can't just like take the skin off the person. But, leave women the fuck alone. Like, leave women the fuck alone. It breaks my heart. It makes me cry watching fucking Law and Order when I see a woman in distress. So to think that women are raped, and it was just a situation where Cain Vasquez, a UFC fighter, found out his daughter was molested by a family member over 100 times. And he's a UFC fighter. He got in the car with a gun and shot into a car to kill the guy who molested his daughter, which everybody thought he should have just beat the shit out of him. And he shot the dude's dad and killed him. So they locked him up. So I'm just saying, like, I understand the rage and, like, leave women alone. Because if somebody touched my woman, like, all hell gonna break loose. But leave women alone as sexual offenders everywhere. Women be safe. Leave kids alone. Like, that's the sickest shit you can do. Don't vibe with that at all. Don't understand it. Don't want to. So that's just tied to my beef and the end of this sexual misconduct, assault stuff. Leave women the fuck alone. That's it. You good? Mm-hmm. You sure? Mm-hmm. You all right, baby? Mm-hmm. You safe? I got you, right? Mm-hmm. You all right? Jayana Webb.
That sounds to me, but I'm not. Yeah, tell me. I don't know who that is.
Instagram a quote and a Twitter quote that said, "I'm the best drunk driver ever." Charged with 18 felony counts, 3 counts of third-degree murder of Brandon Siska, 29, and Martin Mack III, 33, the 2 state troopers, and killed the pedestrian Reyes Riviera, 28. Both of them have wives, and Mack's widow is pregnant.
So I didn't know her name because I thought her name was, I don't know. I looked at her social media page and I thought it was like Tanae something. But anybody, your social media page can be whatever you want it to be. So that was my fault. I knew the story, but I didn't know her name. This is a very, very, very sad situation because, again, there's so many different. Is this the 3 grams?
Mm-mm.
Oh, this just okay. It's one of those situations where she deserves to be punished. She deserves, it's not blaming the officers at all for their deaths.
How long she been locked up? 2 days?
I think so.
Look how fast they looked at her social media.
However, to
see best drunk driver ever.
However, this is the sad part. Why didn't the officers prevent her from driving? So there was another post that same night. She said that the cops pulled her over. She was going 100. They told her she was going 110 and a 50 110 and a 50. After that is when she killed them.
60 miles over the speed limit, and they let her drive.
And it's like, okay, I understand they got another call. It's a pedestrian in the road. Have another officer go check on him, because this woman right here, she don't need to drive. One, and I know in no kind of scenario did they think that they would be the victim of her drunk, reckless driving. But what about somebody else being the victim of it? What about her killing herself?
They pull her over. She's drunk as hell doing 110 and a 50. They get a call, like on TV, something else is happening. We got a break. And
They
that
leave.
call is, it's a person in the middle of the highway. So you don't know. I'm trying to think from their perspective. You don't know if it's like a person laying in the middle of a highway. You don't know if it's a person walking. So there's a safety issue there. But there's also a safety issue here. So it's like a judgment call.
Okay, and it's two of y'all. And I don't know if this is allowed. I don't know police protocol. If y'all know, let us know. I'm going to stay here with her to make sure she don't drive.
Those are two separate, yeah, because they don't ride together. Not state troopers. They
Okay,
ride
so
alone.
one go check on her.
Mhm.
But this young lady should have never.
No, I was saying, was it two different cop cars?
I was wondering that too. I thought I was going to say,
But I
even if
never
it
seen
wasn't.
state troopers ride together. I've always seen them in a car by themselves.
Right. But even if they were, she is drunk. They said her blood alcohol level was 2 times over the limit. So she was drunk. She was going 60 miles over the speed limit. Even if y'all in the car together, I'm going to stay here, take her keys. I'm going to call for somebody to come pick me up. You go check on that man. But there's no way this woman should be allowed to leave and continue driving. Again, even if not in a million years they ever thought she would hit them, what about the next person down the road that she could potentially hit? She should have never been allowed to drive. But it also showed, in addition to that, what's going to be her detriment, because she does deserve to be punished, is not only were these state troopers that you killed.
Hold on though, but just the pushback on that is, what's the point of that? And just for the sake of conversation, what's the point of that if they're dead?
What's the point of what?
That she shouldn't have been allowed to drive.
I mean,
they made the judgment call, and it's almost like a backdoor way of saying, like, if they would have not let her drive and ignored the call, if they couldn't split up, like, then it wouldn't have happened. Like, what's the point of even saying that information?
But it might not have happened. And again, I'm not blaming them because she was at fault. She got drunk. She decided to drive. But if they took her keys and locked her up for being drunk.
For drunk driving, that's a crime.
Yeah. But now you're locked up for 3 murders. So I'm not saying, but that is the point. If they would not have allowed her to drive, they would be here to tell the story about how they stopped this young lady from drunk driving who was going 60 miles over the speed limit.
So what if the person down in the road, it was a person in the road, and then the person got hit and died?
I'm not saying
So
that you had to sacrifice it, but then you're talking about 1 life over 3.
Okay, but so you tell that family that person got to go.
And again, I'm not saying. I mean, in the end, you let this drunk driver go, so you let her go, and now they killed my family member anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But that's what I mean. You can't change. I mean, I don't know. Like to change something, to try to not let something happen, it seems like somebody's gonna die anyway. Or
again, if you're one of y'all go and check on that man, or call another officer. Okay, we're on I'm talking like I'm talking to my police mic. We're on a call. This is how they talk on their shoulder.
We ain't no fucking cops.
Like, we're on a call. The lady is ridiculously drunk. She's going 110 and a 50. We have to apprehend her and stop her from driving. Can you call somebody else to get the man off the road? Like,
you didn't even drop vehicle.
The vehicle. We can't allow her to drive her vehicle. And I'm not making any jokes about it at all, because again, you have 4 lives lost, because this young lady may never get out of jail, because we know she's black, these men are white, and I'm not justifying that. She shouldn't be punished, but we know they're going to throw the book at her even heavier. She killed 3 people.
And 2 cops. And that's a specific a charge with all of this stuff. A specific a charge when you kill any cop. And it's manslaughter vehicular manslaughter on 2 police officers. And I think that's like the highest specific charge that they can give her, as far as like you kill cops.
And not just reckless driving, like, oh, you was going so fast and you lost control, but you were drunk. Mm-hmm. And I hope that it's so sad.
She has 18 felony counts. She's going to jail for life.
I hope, which I know it isn't, so I'm wasting my breath saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. For my nieces, my nephews, y'all nieces, nephews out here driving, I hope this is an example of how one decision, I'm not going to say one mistake, because she ain't make no mistake. One decision can change the course of your life forever.
Yes, it only
like
takes a
one
second.
decision.
It doesn't take long at all. That's one of the things that my man Wallow talks about is when he was in jail, a guy asked him, how long did it take? And he was like, what are you talking about? And he said, how long did it take for you to get your 20 years? Whatever crime you did took five seconds, a minute. Like, if you shot somebody, it took a second. Like 1 second, one fraction of time can change or sit you somewhere or in a graveyard forever. Like it's a small increment of time, but that shit can change the course forever.
And the crazy thing about it too is, okay, the cops the cops went to the next call. They didn't, arrest you. That should have sobered you up real fast. Like, whoo, thank God they left. Let me drive carefully. And you did 40 home or wherever you were going.
But she's the best drunk driver ever.
To drive recklessly so much to the point that you killed them. And this is another thing too that I hope, not just for young people, for people on social media, period, that is going to haunt her. Mm-hmm. So whatever sentence she would have got, they're going to use that's why they publishing it, or they're going to use their social media, those tweets. People don't realize this stuff.
That shit's going to play in court when she's giving her impact statement. The best
drunk driver ever. They're going to repeat that over and over and over. They're going to eat her up.
Yeah. If it goes to trial, she might just take a plea because they might say you're going to get dragged through the mud, and she might just cop out to it, knowing that I did it. I mean, they're going to convict me. It's not like I'm going to win and they're going to say I didn't do it. Like, right. So whatever time they're going to give me, you might just, okay, I'll take the plea. Just don't kill me. Like, you killed 3 people and 2 goddamn state troopers. Like, they'll put you on death row for that shit.
I was about to say, can they give you the death penalty?
In Pennsylvania?
But I mean, for manslaughter?
I don't know. I would have to look in 18 felonies. I think you can get the death penalty for. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to give false information. But that's crazy. 3 grams. Did you have a beef? Because my beef was tied to that.
Nah, I don't have no beef.
3 grams. You okay, babe?
I'll be okay.
You sure?
You rattled me up a little bit. You rattled me up a lot, but I'll be okay.
All right. You safe.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
You safe. All right.
Okay.
You know that, right?
Yeah. Okay. I got a gun too.
Not to go back to like the sexual assault shit, but one of the grams, a man was arrested in Miami for trying to rape a Walmart. Trying to rape a woman in Walmart.
I saw that.
His name was Brendan Harvey, 28, came up behind a woman who had a dress on, touched her butt, pushed her down, and ripped her panties off.
Was he high?
I don't know.
I know they was like wrestling him
and beating the shit out of him and stuff like that. Babe, you in Walmart and somebody push you down and rip your drawers off?
That's what I think. Like
it's about to go down in Walmart?
Like, he had to be high. And I ain't excusing his behavior, but you can't possibly be, like, in a sober mind thinking that's how it's going to go
down on the Walmart on the aisle right there?
Even if she don't fight you off, like, what about the man that comes, or the person that comes down the aisle to pick up some dish detergent? Like, how you going to explain what's happening here?
I can't imagine a woman, like, her trauma now. I went to Walmart to grab bread and some fucking eggs. And because I had a sundress on in Miami, this fucking guy pushed me down and snatched my underwear off.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm standing here with no drawers on now.
That's sick.
And I've been wrestled upon.
Don't do that again.
Like this.
Don't wrestle upon me again.
That's crazy. Niggas is crazy. Florida is different.
This is why I say at some point sometimes you have to disconnect, because you'll feel like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, in what world did you think this was gonna happen? And like, oh, now you was gonna get your nut off and you was gonna be good because you got some coochie. Like,
watch that talk our therapist watch.
Nah, we not gonna do that.
No,
I was about to say. We keep it respectful, but we keep it real.
I was messing with you.
But we love you.
We'll end on some lighter notes. They're saying now that you should have 8 or more characters in your passwords.
That's been the thing for some time.
Characters?
Okay.
Not letters, characters. 8 or more characters?
Let's just say this, right? So for those of you who know, some may not, recently my Facebook was hacked. And this is the crazy thing. I couldn't have told you what my Facebook password was because, you go into apps and you set it up where you don't have to log in every time. Go to log in, it tells me one day somebody was trying to get in, change your password. Okay, fine. I don't know who this person is. I don't know. They was trying to get in like 3:00 in the morning. Whatever. I changed my password.
In a different state, right?
No, it didn't say different state. It said from an Android, and it was like 2 hours before the time I was going on, and I knew that I don't have an Android, and I wasn't trying to get in 2 hours ago. Okay, fine. Next day, it tells me again. Okay, 2 hours ago. And this is when, my husband leaves for work. So I knew 2 hours before he left for work. We were asleep. I wasn't trying to get in Facebook. Changed the password again. The next day, I put in that password. Nope. I'm like, I know I just changed it to this. So then it's, reset your password. So it's sending it to an email. This ain't my email address. Long story short, went through all this bullcrap. What was it, like 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. Finally, Facebook agreed that it was me and blah, blah, blah. I went through the whole thing. So to that point, it's like these hackers, you know what I thought about today? It's so funny you said that. But wait, listen.
Them suggested passwords that they give you, that's like the whole alphabet.
Yeah, I got one and I saved it in my phone.
Well, you have to. You never remember that.
Hell no. But I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I'm not going to say because the hacker might watch us. But I saved it. I was like, I'm going to use your password because it's crazy.
But what if you go to change it, if you can't get to it and change it and they ask you to type your old password?
Copy and paste it. That's why I put it in my notes.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's funny you say this because our minds are so connected. Today, I was typing in my password for something and emojis popped up. And I said to myself, watch in the future, you're going to be allowed to use emojis as part of your password.
Wow, that would be a good one, though.
Because it's so now you just have to remember what you did. And it's going to have to be for yourself some logic to what they are in order for you to remember, but watch.
Because it's more emojis than it is alphabet.
Yeah, and I did it by a mistake. Like I was, when you go back and forth. But when I saw something...
Yeah, why isn't that considered a character?
I said, watch this going to be a thing in the future.
Why isn't that considered a character? If
I'm going to try it on one of my passwords.
Or 8 emojis in a certain order, certain ones, and nobody would know that
But you for
combination
yourself
of
just going to have to remember. Now, the only thing is Android emojis look different than iPhone emojis.
I've never seen an Android emoji.
They look fake.
Yeah,
they look bootleg.
They probably look like they lacking something.
Yeah, they look like...
What they do?
Like a fake
man?
Yeah, like a fake
it's not just the arm?
No, it's like they look like a fake video game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like
you know how like if you got Mario Brothers, right? Your mom be like, I ain't spending all that money for Mario Brothers. Here goes Zario Brothers.
Oh. No. Got the fugazi. You got the fugazi. Your shit going up. What? I'm gonna have to start watching you now.
What I do?
Oh, what you gonna do? Your shit going up.
What's going up?
I'm gonna have to watch you now.
Watch me. What I do? What I did?
Instacart adding surcharge for fuel
40
prices.
cents. I saw that. I was like, by all means, take this 40 cents. But I got a beef with Instacart.
Why?
And I got so what
I'll let you talk about Instacart. Go ahead.
What I realized I'm gonna start doing on Instacart, I am not adding my tip until my delivery comes. This week I had, you didn't tell me it was a man that delivered the groceries this week?
Dude.
He did not do a good job. Like he didn't read my...
Because he delivered them, mean he shot for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
His name was Sharmar. I seen it because it tells you your shopper, and that was his name, Sharmar. And I didn't even think it's probably...
Like Shamar?
You probably say it like that, but I didn't even, I didn't expect it to be a man. But then afterwards, it shows you a little picture of like their profile picture. And that's how I was like, oh, this was a dude. He did a horrible job. He didn't read my notes. So this wasn't the best experience. I mean, I got my groceries. It just wasn't the best experience. So I am not adding the full tip that I would normally give until after I assess the quality of my delivery. But that 40 cent, they can have it. They gas going up. They got all delivery services are gonna go up. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, anything that
I didn't
drives.
know it was that minute though.
Yeah, I read that because I was wondering too, like, what y'all about to do? But
what if it was like $4?
Yeah, I would pay $4.
A gallon?
No, this didn't say, this said 40 cents per delivery.
You sure? It ain't 40 cents per gallon?
I'm gonna check and see, but I thought it just
because if gas is up $3 per gallon, gas is almost double the average price. So why would it just be 40 cents per delivery?
They said 40 cents because you got to think about all the Instacart is collecting all that money, and then they're just distributing it to its employees. But I'm gonna check it out because I thought it was 40 cents per order. But you're right, that does sound pretty dumb.
Yeah, it sounds pretty low.
But because you don't know the distance that they go anyway. You remember I told you I learned that the ShopRite that I shop at, I realized this ain't the ShopRite. Like if I say I'm shopping at ShopRite, they're gonna go to whatever ShopRite they want as long as it's ShopRite. I didn't realize that until one day. Sometimes it shows you a map of like when they on their way, and I was like, why is she all the way over
there? Can you
there?
Instacart from Cousins?
I don't think so.
No?
There's a lot of different markets on there, but I don't think Cousins is on there.
It's only 2 of them. I was just asking. Can you Instacart?
They probably wouldn't deliver to us, baby.
I'm just asking if you can Instacart from Cousins.
I'm not sure. Because I think the
Maybe
store...
somebody on Instacart that I know go to Cousins.
But this is the thing. I think the store has to be set up with Instacart's technology. Because you figure you're paying for it on your app. So they got to be able to show them something that you paid for this. You know what I mean?
Almost like they buy it.
Yeah, but I can't imagine like they're giving them a card with money or anything. So
no,
I think the core, so the store has to be set up with some kind of technology, and I don't think Cousins is positioned to take on that load.
Act 2 the podcast, episode 63. Sorry, it was if it triggered some women out there, if it touched some women, we was talking about some deep stuff there. But that's what we do. We transparent and live our truths. Act 2 podcast.
We have those difficult discussions.
Yep. The conversations a lot of people don't want to have or have in private. We try to come here and have with y'all. So comment, like, share, do all that good stuff. Act 2 the podcast, episode 63, International Walk.
Your girl Tosh.
Catch us on act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Breaker, we're breaking shit, Anchor, we're sinking shit, Google Podcasts, we're podcasting, YouTube, we're YouTubing, Radio Public, we in the public, we outside, Spotify, we're Spotifying, we're on all those, so check us out. If
you be cheating though.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace. Love you.